Hey there folks, and welcome back for another video. I'm your host CDP, you're not, and today we're going to talk about aftershaves a little bit and the escalating price of aftershaves. And I'm going to give you my personal take on what I'm willing to spend on aftershaves. And the reason this has come about is because the other day I made a video with this particular aftershave Fine American Blend, which is outstanding. It'll always be outstanding. And I mentioned that it was around 15 bucks. Well, that is no longer the case because it's 20. Yikes, 20. So then when you throw shipping on there, it's going to be, somewhere around $23 to $25, depending on how you get it shipped, maybe more. But let's say 25. I'm not comfortable with that price. I'm not. And the reason why is because there are too many other, well, not a ton, but there are other companies who are selling aftershaves of equal quality, in my view, for less. All right, so I'm not out just to waste money, and I love Fine aftershaves, and I like the fellow Todd who makes them, but I'm just not willing to pay 25 bucks if you roll up the shipping on it for an aftershave. That's a simple, very simple ingredients aftershave: alcohol, water, fragrance, and menthol. That's a little bit much for me. Now, that said, Fine and every other company that has been increasing the prices of their aftershaves have every right to set whatever price they want. And the market, of course, will decide. I speak with my dollars, and I'm speaking to you about how I'm going to speak with my dollars. Let me just mention a couple of other things. The majority of the aftershaves that I own are sterling, like this one here, Baker Street, and they usually run $12.95. Anywhere from $12.95 to $14-ish, depending on what's in it. And the ingredients on this one, for example, alcohol, witch hazel, fragrance, aloe, glycerin, eau de Provence, essential oil. Really, really good stuff. They work really nice for me, and they're $12.95 generally, and they have a ton of great scents. All right, $12.95. Razor Rock puts out aftershaves, and they have some different ingredients in theirs. I'm not going to read the whole list, but they're usually a little on the simple side, sort of like Fine, but not always. They have different types of aftershaves and products, so it really depends on which ones you get. But these can be found anywhere from, at times I've seen them as low as $6.99 to 12, 14 or 15 bucks at the maximum. So the most aftershaves that I have are these two, and I have probably a good 20 each, maybe a little more. And the reason why is they work very well for my skin, and they last all day long, like a cologne. And so that's why I like them. They're a double duty for me. And I didn't have to pay $20, $25. So what I have seen happen over the last, especially 2 years, is these prices in aftershaves have crept up and crept up and crept up. Now, some artisans are putting additional ingredients in them, good stuff that certainly makes them more expensive. Maybe the oils in which they're using are more expensive. You do have to take that in consideration. But I'm just telling you now, I'm not paying $25 to get an aftershave to my door. At that point, I'll start looking at something else. That's just me. I'm not asking you to do it, but what I will say is this. If you want companies like Sterling and Razor Rock to continue bringing you these aftershaves at great prices, buy them. Buy more of these than you're buying of the $20 aftershaves, all right? Look to these guys first if you want them to hang around at that price. This is the way we keep these folks bringing these aftershaves to you at great prices. Look to them first. And I'm not saying don't buy the other ones. Do whatever you want to. But if you really appreciate what these guys are doing, and I do, buy these first. All right, go to these guys first. That's my recommendation if you really appreciate it. A couple of other ones that I just happened to pull out, and there are more that are under 20. Reef Point Soaps make some, these are usually around $17.99. Very good aftershaves. This scent in particular, Earl Grey and Ginger, is fantastic. And I also pulled one from the shaving shop. This one, of course, is, has a different label now, but these are under $20 too. Now, Peter Charkalis in his shop also has EDTs and different frags that are more expensive. but he still has aftershaves that are under $20, and that's really where I want to be. So what I plan to do is make sure I'm spending my money primarily with the vendors who are offering really good value. And I think the best value out there, and I could be leaving some folks out, so I don't mean any offense when I say these sort of things. Razor Rock and Sterling, because their prices are just excellent. Sometimes these are ridiculously inexpensive, and these are always somewhere in that $12.95 range, no more than a couple of dollars more than that, and they've stayed this way for a long time, and their products just keep getting better and better on both counts. These folks also were the ones who brought you the Plisson type knots first at a affordable cost. I think Sterling might have been first with the what I called the Kong, and it was like 20 or 25 bucks. And then Razor Rock came along and did it, and then they dropped. I mean, you could get them as inexpensive as 12 bucks. These guys were the ones responsible for that. All right, that means something to me. That means a lot to me. Also, their soaps and aftershaves, just about everything they do is affordable. So what I ask you to do is go to these guys. Check them out. If you like their products, if you want them to continue putting out these products, these wonderful prices, look here first. I personally don't know that I'll buy these $25 aftershaves. There's only one that I bought recently, Katie's Bubbles, and you know, I do like his. They are more expensive. He put some nice ingredients in them. They work well for me. I buy him primarily because some of his scents are unique. He's the only one that has them. And so that's why I bought them, because they're unique creations of his, and so I wanted the aftershaves. Now that said, does it mean I would buy one if it's the this type fragrance? If I could get it Sterling, I'd probably buy the Sterling, to be very honest with you. And I say that with Chris Cullen being my friend. If I could get the exact same fragrance somewhere else cheaper, like Sterling, I'd probably get it cheaper. And that's not because I want to take money out of his pocket. I'm just trying to be the best steward I can for my own wallet, because I've spent enough, as you know, which is why, again, I'm telling you guys, if you enjoy these products, look to them first, and then continue on from there. If you have things that you can't get there and they have them other places, or they're just making unique things, or they're just flat work better for you. So if this guy works better for you at $25, then certainly buy it. I'm not asking you not to buy it. I'm just saying go and check out these folks who are committed to value, because that means something, because not everybody has a ton of discretionary income. All right, you see Razor Rock and Sterling continuously, and Magritte also, continuously committing to value, bringing products to you at a fair price, innovating, really setting the standard when it comes to great value. And I speak with my dollars in the same way that I'm speaking to you now, because I got a ton of this stuff. Tons of Razor Rock soaps, which I've shown you before. Tons of each of these brands of aftershaves. And so that's where I'm spending my money. When I get the opportunity, I'm going to look there first. Now, some folks will disagree. They don't like them. They don't feel they work as well. That's okay. Some folks just like certain brands better. But I'm just going to be honest with you. And this is based on my experience over the last 5 years. I've tried most of the aftershaves out there. Some of them have been very good. Some of them, when I initially started using them, I thought they were just incredibly good and way better than anything else. And then as I started to compare them against these, well, not that one, excuse me. This one too. This one is good quality. Let's make no bones about it. But when I compared them against these, I found out I didn't get much more out of those expensive aftershaves. Now, if they have ingredients that work better for your skin, then certainly use them. But please, I ask you once again, think about it. Is it worth the $10 more plus shipping? You decide. For me, it is not. I've made that decision, and I don't care what wizardry is supposed to have gone in the more expensive aftershaves. For me personally, I have not found a compelling reason to spend $25 shipped, or 25 plus shipping in some cases, because we've seen this up upswing, and I don't know if it's as a result of, or if it is a result of tougher competition, money's getting tighter. I don't know the reason, and it's really, neither here nor there, because we're the consumer. Ultimately, we drive this, and what we buy kind of sends that message. So what I ask you to do is, buy what you can reasonably afford, buy what works well for you, but always take a look to value. I do ask you to do that, and just check it out and see if it works for you. And of course, if it doesn't, if the other things work just as well, then surely make your video saying, hey, that guy's full of crap. This brand X $25 aftershave is the greatest of all time. And perhaps it is. And in fact it is. If you think it is, as I've always said. But anyway, that is going to conclude my spiel on aftershaves. I do ask that you take this into consideration, because we're seeing these prices go up both on soap and aftershave. But when I look around, I'm seeing certain companies that are still committed to value. And think about that. Keep those guys interested in bringing this value to you. That's the way I look at it. Thanks as always for watching. And until next time, let's help the entire world shave great once again. And let's help them do it on not a ton of money.